points, and I'll show you here in a minute what I'm talking about, okay? So that's pretty much everything about slope. Just make sure that you know that it's the change in y over the change in x. Okay, and that's only whenever we have these slanted lines. Okay? All right, so let's try some on the other side here. So take a look at these two examples. So we have a point here, we have a point here. I suggest, this is my suggestion, you always start at the left point, the point that's most to the left. Which direction do we need to go to get to our second point? Okay, I need to go down. Okay, remember, which way does the y run? It runs up and down. Remember, y goes on the top. So I count how many times I need to go down. I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many times do we go down? 5. Okay. We're not done. That's only our y values. That's the change in our y distance. Now we got to go to the x's. 1, 2, 3. So that was our distance of our x values. Well, you can't leave your answer like that. What always goes on the top of our slope? Our y values. That is 5, and our x goes at the bottom. Now, a lot of you guys might be sitting there going, hold on, there's a saying for this, and you're absolutely correct. It's called rise over run. Think about it like this. You got to stand up before you can run. Okay, you can't sit in a desk or in your chair and try to run. It's pretty difficult. Okay, so you either want to go up or down first, then go side to side. So that might be a good way to remember how to do slope. Okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's take a look at this slope. Okay, we got 2 points going on here. Look at how this line is acting. So from left to right, when we read a book, which way is this going? You got it. It's going uphill. So this must be a positive slope. Okay, so we know that our answer's got to be positive. Well, let's figure it out. Start at the leftmost point. Which way do we need to go? Up or down? Looks like up. We're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines. So that's the distance in our y values. How many times do we got to go run across our x-axis? 1, 2, 3, 4. Once again, you can't leave your answers like that. Rise over run. What goes on top? 8. We rised up 8. And we ran over 4. Okay. I would like you to simplify this. So how do we simplify 8 divided by 4? Well, that's 2. Okay. And that would be your final answer. All right. So that's how you figure out slope if I give you a graph. All right. Okay. Next thing I want to go over is special cases. What if, okay, so see how these are slanted? What if we have lines that run vertically and horizontally? So go ahead and take some notes on this. All right, let's take a look at some special slopes. All right, there's 2 types of special slopes. We've got horizontal and we have vertical. Correct? Yes. Horizontal runs straight across from left to right, and vertical runs up and down. Okay, if you were looking at this and you're going, well, how am I going to figure out my slopes? If I put 2 points here, well, I don't go up or down. I only go left or right. So do you have a rise? Do you have a run? There's a lot of questions. Okay, so here's how, this is a good way to remember this. So take a look. Are we going anywhere up or down? So is there any type of steepness going on? Are we climbing up a mountain? Are we climbing down a mountain? No. So how do we represent no in math? Well, we say that this is a 0 slope. We're not going up or down. We are level. That's awesome. Okay, so we represent it as 0. So when you have a horizontal line like this, this is a 0 slope. Take a look at the vertical. Once again, you're going, well, I can rise, but I can't run. Okay, so how do we figure this out? Think about it like this. What if you're standing up? Can you make it to the ceiling by walking? Maybe with a ladder, but that's going to be pretty difficult. You can't go up. Okay, so if you're trying to go from sitting down, you can't get up to the ceiling. So we can't do it. How do we say in math we can't do something? Well, we say that it is undefined. And we're actually going to take a look at this here in a minute using some coordinates, and you'll see why we come up with these words. Okay, but let's take a look at a couple of examples. All right, example 1 would have what type of a line? If it's going up and down, what is that called? Well, that's a vertical line. You got it. And what do we know about vertical? Well, we don't have a rise or run, and we can't go from the floor to the ceiling. It's impossible. So we call it undefined slope. You're done. Okay. Last but not least, example 2. Take a look. What kind of line we got going on here? Okay, it's perfectly flat. There is no steepness. So how do we represent no steepness in math? 0 slope. Okay? All right. The next thing that I want to get into is this is a one way of finding slope. So if I give you a graph, this is what you have to do. But what if I gave you something like this? Now I'm giving you points. Okay, do you see that we have 2 points going on here? And I want you to find slope. All right, so what do you think we can use? Well, look back at your notes. Isn't there something that I gave you earlier that we can use? Absolutely, the slope formula. Okay, but what I would like you to start practicing for a while till you get used to it, let's identify our x and our y values. So let's take a look at this example. So -9, 14. Well, this is our x, and 14 is our y. Continue on. -10 is an x, -7 is a y. All right, so now you might decide, well, we have x2s and y2s and all of that. Think about it logically. What point comes first? Well, this one. So put 1s next to them. Which point comes second? This one. Put 2s next to them. So do we have everything we need for that formula? Yes, we do. All right, so let's just substitute in like we were doing earlier this year. All right, what goes first in our formula? Well, our y2. So we have -7 minus, that's a change, you have to have that negative there, minus our y1, which is 14. So far, so good. x2, change of our x1. Ooh, is this allowed in math? Yeah, don't be afraid to get these double negatives. I suggest you put parentheses around it, okay? All you got to do is simplify. -7 minus 14 gives you -21. All right. What happens when we have double negatives? Turns to a positive. What is -10 plus 9? Well, -1. Simplify. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. Pretty easy, right? Okay, let's try another one. Okay, take a look at this example. Label your x and y's. Done. First point, put 1s next to it. Second point, put 2s. Let's start substituting. 9 minus a -6. x2 is 0 minus 1. Okay. Negative and negative is a positive. 9 plus 6 is 15. What's 0 minus 1? -1. 15 divided by -1 is -15. Okay. Pretty easy, right? Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at number 7. Okay. Once again, I suggest you do this. If you're getting really used to this, you can skip this step.